Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are taking a look at another 2020 figure from Schleich, and this one is their Ankylosaurus. This figure, at first glance, here in person, does look pretty nice. It definitely has a very decent appearance to it. It is not a scientifically accurate Ankylosaurus, and there's actually been quite a bit of hate toward the figure. A lot of people don't really seem to like it. Me personally, as far as the promotional images went, I really did like it. I'm not always a stickler for scientific accuracy. As long as the figure looks good overall, I can still enjoy any dinosaur figure. However, I will say that in person, the Ankylosaurus, again at first glance, as I literally just got this out of the box to look at it, it doesn't look quite as good as the promotional images led me to believe it would, which is a little bit depressing, but at the same time, it does still look pretty decent from where I'm at, and I'm really quite excited to get a closer look at it. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt, you can see that the head sculpt does have a pretty decent appearance. Again, it's not a perfect Ankylosaurus by any means, but it still has a very appealing look, and luckily for us, they have included that dark wash once again on the Ankylosaurus, and it brings out all the wonderful scale detail of the face really nicely. Absolutely beautiful. You can see the inside of the mouth even includes a wash, but you've got the tongue sticking up there, and it is painted with a pinkish coloration, and it looks pretty darn nice, I will say that. It's definitely in a bit of a dramatic pose, probably is being attacked by some sort of a predator, so it looks very panicked, and the tongue sticking out means it's clearly yelling out in distress or something along those lines. You can see the eyes are painted perfectly, and they are given a really nice gloss coat to make them shine very realistically. Beautiful black coloration that they've given the eyes, and they look really good. Very realistic. Almost makes the animal look like it is actually alive. The spikes up here on the Ankylosaurus head are also really nicely done. You can see lots of incredible detail throughout, and even up here as far as the armored appearance to the top of the head, and that detail is also wonderfully brought out with that incredible dark wash. The figure overall looks fantastic as far as the detailing goes, just due to that wash bringing all the detail out in a very realistic fashion. Even the underside, you can see just so much sculpt work has been included, and it's all wonderfully brought out once again with that beautiful dark wash. This is why I love when Schleich includes that wash. As we move back into the neck, you can see the scaling looks really nice, and the armored appearance of the Ankylosaurus really starts to pick up, and once again you can see incredible amounts of detail throughout all of the armored plates of the Ankylosaurus. They look really nice, and once again that wash has brought the detail out and just kind of shown it straight to you. There's no need to even go searching for that detail, as it is all very abundant and very noticeable, and you can really see how wonderful the scaling is all over the figure. All different sized scales beautifully applied. I think it looks incredible overall when it comes to the scaling of the figure. When we come down here into the front leg, you can see kind of skin folding and skin stretching off of the body. Once again, Schleich nailing it when it comes to the movement of the skin reacting to the body of the animal on this release as well. You get down into the front foot there, you can see the nails are painted with a similar coloration to what you see on the armor of the dinosaur, and up here on the beak as well. Lots of really nice skin folding and skin wrinkling all around the base of the leg, and you can see lots of really nice skin folding and skin wrinkling down here in the stomach region. Beautiful detailing on the underside as well. The skin is stretching really nicely off of the body with the way that this leg is pulling out away from the body, kind of again showing that it is in kind of a defensive pose and definitely ready to protect itself, and you can really see all the skin reacting everywhere when it comes to the positioning of the body. Beautiful scaling once again here on the side. It really looks incredible, and you can just kind of see certain areas have been given a little extra color, like some black kind of dry brushed over and some brown, and certain areas it just has a little color variation, and I really like that. Definitely think it gives it a really nice appearance for sure. The leg does definitely seem scrawny to me as far as the rear leg, and I think that is one of the biggest things that is kind of putting me off of the figure. That leg looks oddly scrawny, does not look like it has any muscle tone to it at all, and I would imagine an Ankylosaurus would be a pretty big dinosaur, would have to carry its weight around on some fairly muscular legs, and you're not seeing that really here. You can see some more really nice skin detail back here though, beautiful skin folding once again. As you move down into the leg, you can see that the overall bone structure is pretty nicely present. You've got a good idea of the ankle and everything. Really nice nails on the rear foot as well. Then as we get up here into the tail, you can see the skin stretching off of the tail really nicely, because again the tail is lifted up really high off the ground, so it's really going to stretch that skin right there, and Schleich has 100% shown that aspect in the sculpt of their figure. As you lead out the tail, you can again see how incredible the scaling is, even on the underside, all the way out to that club tail, and it looks really beautiful. I think that the coloration of the top of the animal is really beautiful as well. It's a very nice yellowish brown type color. Really nice coloration, and it transitions to a bit of a darker color out here on the actual club tail, which does also sport some really nice detailing. And then the underside has like a light brown, and it's again all shown really nicely with that dark wash. It brings the detail out so wonderfully. If we look at this side, you can again see how nice the scale work is. The neck is also stretched out pretty far due to the panicked state that the Ankylosaurus is in at this time. You can see that this front leg here is in pretty much the same position as the opposing leg, so there's not really too much difference when it comes to the sculpt as far as detailing goes in that general area, but it does still look just as good as it did on the opposing side. Once again, lots of skin wrinkling, skin folding in the stomach region. Really nice scaling all over the place. You can see that all the scales are so many different sizes. Incredible scale work on the figure. Really nice sculpt and detail as far as this rear leg. Once again, it looks a bit scrawny, a little too small for me, no muscle tone or anything really showing or shining through on what would be a very large, very heavy animal. So that's probably my biggest gripe with the figure, I think. But it does show some really nice skin folding in the crease of the knee and everything. Really nice foot sculpt and beautifully sculpted nails back here, along with really nice paint application to them as well. And then as we lead up into the tail, you can again see the skin stretching really nicely over on this side, and some more really beautiful scaling. The armored appearance on the upper side of the tail that runs out the length of the tail looks really good. Really nice curvature in the tail as well. Definitely not a pose that I would expect an Ankylosaurus to not be able to pull off, so it does look very natural as far as the pose goes, I think, and it does look very panicked at the same time. Really nice sculpt and detail. I think just the proportions of the figure are off a bit, and then the lack of muscle tone in the legs and the rear legs are a little bit disheartening, but for the most part I still think it does look really quite nice. As far as a size goes on our Ankylosaurus, from the head to the tail, you are looking at just a hair under 6 inches, or about 15 centimeters, and for a height, the highest point clearly would be the club tail. You're looking at about 4 inches or 10 centimeters. For the head, it's down very low, about 1.5 inches, maybe just under 2 inches, or around 4.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon, giving you an idea that this is a fairly small figure as far as the Schleich figure goes, which is surprising being an Ankylosaurus. The Ankylosaurus was a pretty decently sized dinosaur. I would have expected this to be a little bit bigger, but at the same time, it's still a really nice sized figure, and it is exciting now to finally have an Ankylosaurus in the Schleich collection. So overall, I think it is a decent size, something that's not going to take up too much room in any collection, which is always potentially a good thing. So this 2020 Schleich Ankylosaurus is definitely pretty darn nice, I will say. Again, there's a lot of people out there that do not like it because it is obviously not a very accurate Ankylosaurus. There is quite a bit wrong with it overall as far as proportions go, I think, and just in general, it has a little bit of an off feeling when it comes to an Ankylosaurus. But me personally, I really do quite like it. Again, I stated earlier in the review that I'm not a huge stickler for scientific accuracy. Of course, I always love when a figure is accurate, but I don't need scientific accuracy in my life to have me enjoy a figure, especially when it comes to something that is as beautifully sculpted as this. As long as it's appealing in one way or another, I can always enjoy a dinosaur figure no matter what, and I really do quite like this Ankylosaurus. I think that the sculpting of the scales all over the figure is just breathtaking, honestly, and all of the scale detail has been again brought out wonderfully with that dark wash, really making all the scale work shine through so well and help to make you take note of it and really appreciate it. I think that the sculpting of this figure is just really top notch, very similar once again to like their Kentrosaurus or Stegosaurus when it comes to a lot of movement being shown in the body, but all really wonderfully sculpted out. And again, I mentioned the dark wash. The dark wash helps this figure so much when it comes to the overall beautiful appearance of it. I think that without that wash, the figure would have probably been a good bit lower on my list as far as how much I like it, but due to that wash, all the detail has been brought out wonderfully. but it also helps to give it a very realistic appearance, a very lifelike appearance, and the wonderful gloss coat on the eye along with that dark wash helps to make the figure look honestly almost alive, which is a huge plus that not too many figures pull off, and I think that does look really cool on this figure. I think that the paint application as well is really nicely done. They were good choices for sure. It's something that looks pretty natural on an Ankylosaurus and doesn't look like a color that I couldn't see an Ankylosaurus being, so it was a nice choice. There's not really too much as far as color tones or anything on the figure, but again, including that really nice wash helps to make the figure still look like it has some color variation, and it does look really, really cool in my opinion. So, once again, maybe not the Ankylosaurus that everyone will like, but it is still an Ankylosaurus that I personally do like quite a bit. So if you want to pick this Ankylosaurus up, I will link you guys in the description to Dejankins.com where you can do just that. So make sure you follow that link in the description. Go pick up this very cool Ankylosaurus from Dejankins. But before you do that, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.